The NBA 2K series has been dominating the basketball gaming space for over a decade now. It is routinely one of the best, if not the best selling sports game, and continues to bring in billions of dollars every year. But with the most recent iteration of the game, a lot of fans have been left unsatisfied. Plenty of content creators and fans themselves have expressed their gripes with the game. And for the first time in a long time, 2K is actually losing money, being down 50% in a quarterly earnings report. And one thing we know, 2K does not play by their money. You can see this in the game, and even when you go on Twitch or YouTube, the viewership is down, the game is not as active, and people just aren't playing the game as much as they used to. But what is the reason for that? One of the biggest things that comes to my mind is the reason to play, or rewards. If you think back to some of the best 2Ks that were really raved upon, that people really liked, it had a big reason to do with the rewards that you got for actually playing the game. If people don't have a reason to play the game or reason to grind the game, they're not going to play it, and that's simple. With the season system they have in place now, the people that are really playing the game actively are hitting 40 first 2-3 days. And then after that, there's not really much else to grind for. And then even the casuals, once they hit 40 or whatever level they wanted to hit, there's not really much there to play for anymore. So then the rest of the season, it's just inactive users. No matter how good the game ever gets, it is still a video game at the end of the day. Every video game you know today that's successful has some type of reward, whether that's getting new guns in Call of Duty or getting a new skin in the Battle Pass in Fortnite. It is the biggest factor in the longevity of the game. If people aren't having a reason to play after 5 days into the season because they're already hit level 40, then the game's just gonna die off very, very quickly. That's why you see the last two 2Ks, the game really died after the first season because people already got their 40 and there wasn't much to do after that. This is why, in my opinion, they need to have a season system and a grind that we can grind out through the whole year. This gives the people that only have a few hours every now and then to come and grind on the season system. And then it also gives the long-time grinders, the people that once they hit 40, they still want something to grind for. It gives them an incentive if you have a long-term grind like Rookie to Legend. We need something that's gonna last us the whole year, not 5 days. And even the rewards we have today, a lot of them are repetitive and from old games. On the left, you're gonna see the rewards from NBA 2K22. And on the right, these are the rewards from NBA 2K23. And if you look closely, a lot of the rewards are very similar, if not the same. So at this point, it feels like we're playing the same game, and it's just very repetitive. And while I'm on the topic of repetitive, that brings me to my next point, which is the repetitiveness of the game year to year. This is our 3rd year of the city, and my good friend Dom2K has said every time we look into the city, it feels like he's playing the same game, because it really does. We've had the city for 3 years at this point. There hasn't been too many crazy changes other than the layout of the city. 2K is gonna have to shake things up a little bit. They're gonna have to bring us with some new type of city, some new scenery to keep people interested and intrigued in the game. And in my opinion, they need to go ahead and get rid of the city because the city's so big. There's always people trying to do stuff other than just playing basketball. There were people on the side dancing or sitting there idle, or they'll be at shops spending their VC. Which brings me to my next point, the VC prices. The VC prices is probably the biggest complaint from the all-around casual fan base. The price to upgrade your player has climbed every year to the point where now it's like 300, 400,000 to just make one player and max them out. You used to be able to go on older 2Ks and spend like 120,000 VC max and you'd have an 85 overall. That's not even taking into account the boost, the animation, clothes, all that extra stuff that we had to spend our VC on. The VC prices is probably what pushes away a majority of the casual fan base. People don't want to have to spend 50, 60, $70 just to enjoy themselves on a game, because if you're not spending money on VC, you're having a terrible experience. And what people don't understand is casuals is what keeps the game popping. Most of the people on the game are casuals. There's only like 5% of us that's actually like quote unquote comp. Most people just want to come on a game, enjoy themselves after a long day of work or whatever on the weekend with their people and not have to stress about anything. And it's a lot harder for them to do that with the VC prices. But it's also a lot harder for them to do that with the way that the gameplay is now. The gameplay does not favor the casual player. And I'm not saying that they need to go ahead and make it super duper arcadey, but I'm saying that there needs to be some type of comp game mode and some type of casual game mode. The fact that you have to green all of your shots is not okay for the casual gamer, especially considering that every single jump shot is a different timing this year. One shot you shoot might be super duper fast and the next shot's gonna be super duper slow. People don't have time to sit in there and lab jumpers all day. The gameplay is just way too compy, but at the same time it's also way too slow in my opinion. The 3 adrenaline bars seemed like a good idea at first, but now looking at it, you have to be very conservative of how you use it. You only get 3 bursts for real. So you can't just hop on the game and have fun, you know, dribble up with your friends or, you know, run to the basket or hit a few dribble moves. You only get like 3 bursts. You have to be very conservative and it makes for the gameplay a lot slower. And I'm telling you right now, the best 2Ks, the gameplay was faster. When you mix in the adrenaline with the slow jump shots, it just gives you a really slow 2K and sluggish 2K that can get boring really quickly. And the combination of those two things leads to people just resorting to running to the rim, which is another problem with the gameplay. The paint defense is absolutely garbage. Watching people just run to the rim every single time because it's their only resort is not fun. So like I said, they have to start appealing to their casual fan base and they have to start bringing their fan base together. And the only way to do that is to stop dividing the community and go ahead and add crossplay. There are currently 4 different versions of NBA 2K23 out. Mind you, there used to only be 2. We have a next gen and current gen for both PlayStation and Xbox. And that makes it so that the community is split up 4 different ways. So the content creators, their numbers are down, they're not making as much content, so the game is not as popping. And 2, people can't play with their friends in real life and hop on and just play with whoever, because it's like, oh wait, you said you have PlayStation, but I didn't know you meant next gen, I got current gen. That happens a lot with people. Or maybe you do have both, you have current gen and next gen, but you only want to spend, you know what I'm saying, your $50, $60 on one build on one console. Bringing crossplay into the game would solve at least 80% of the issues, in my opinion, with the game being dead. It would make it so that we can have crossplay lobbies, which means people would be able to play from whatever console. It would make it so that we could play with whoever we wanted to play with, whether they were PlayStation, Xbox, whoever our friends were. And it will make it easier on a consumer, especially somebody like me who has both, and I have friends on both. So all I would have to do is make a build on one console and I could play with everybody. I don't have to focus on grinding my PlayStation build and then grinding my current gen PlayStation build and then grinding my Xbox next gen build on top of my Xbox current gen build. Cause I'm literally going through that right now and it's frustrating. But hey man, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, join the family, man. I'm trying to do more of these. I'll talk to y'all next time, man. Peace.